There's a secret that yogis and mystics have been trying to tell us for thousands of years that if you understood, would allow you to eliminate your overthinking, make decisions more quickly, and manifest your desires into physical reality. And this is something I came upon by accident, working as a paramedic for 8 years, making many life or death decisions, and I found this secret within myself. And in this video, I'm going to explain what the secret is, why it actually matters, and some practical ways in how you can actually apply it to your real life. So, with that being said, let's get right in. Your inner knowing is the language between your inner world and your outer world. And this is what the yogis have been trying to tell us. You have the ability to shift and shape the reality around you by dealing with your internal state, by dealing with who you are being on the inside, which will then reshape everything around you on the outside. But what is this ability of inner knowing? How can you activate it? Why does this even matter? You try to move towards a specific goal or outcome using will and logic by working as hard as you can, being disciplined, using your mind to create a plan and then trying to follow that plan. But more often than not, these things just don't work out. And worse yet, you feel like you're taking steps back in time, moving back to a previous version of you. And it seems like every time you take steps forward, that things just keep coming up in the way. Obstacles come up in their way. Internal things come up that then hold you back or make you regress back to who you were. Now, the answers to quicker decision making, overcoming overthinking, and faster manifestation of the things you desire into physical reality all lies in the state of inner knowing. And inner knowing is the layer that lies above your thoughts. So every day you're thinking thoughts, you have plans, you have ways of moving in the world, you have things you want to move towards, and you think about them, and you plan it out and you take action. But above that is another layer called the plane of cause, where things are actually caused, even though you live in the plane of effects. You see everything that's happening around you. It's almost like reality is like a garden bed, and everything underneath the garden bed that we can't see is true reality. And everything you see above the surface is just a final outcome of all the root development, the nutrient conversion, all the chemical procedures and everything that happened under the surface that they came up to rise as a final result that we call visible reality. Now, quantum physics has already shown us that reality is an illusion, which is the exact same thing the yogis were trying to tell us. And not a sense that it's an illusion that's fake. It's an illusion based on its observer, based on the person observing it and their inner state, and to the degree that they understand their inner reality, your inner verse. We call it the universe, but really it's about the inner verse, the inside state of being, who you are being on the inside. So if inner knowing, intuition, insight, these are the language between the inner and outer worlds, how do we speak that language? How do you apply this to your everyday life to learn the language of reality, so that you can shape your internal world, so you can shape the way you are on the inside that will automatically begin to reorganize reality around you on the outside to then match the inner and outer worlds? This is what the yogis were trying to tell us. This is exactly what they were trying to say. They weren't saying, go out there and try to manifest things and make like this voodoo magic shit to make things come out of thin air. They were talking about speaking the language of reality. And in speaking the language of reality, they understood so clearly that they're even thousands of years ahead of the science that we see today. We're merely playing a game of catch up here. And you can get ahead of the curve by doing the things I'm going to explain to you right now in this video. So it comes down to three things: observation, silence, and subconscious receptivity. Observation. When you go on a walk on your way to work, or you're sitting somewhere, whether it be a bus stop or in your car, do you observe? To what degree are you observing? And to what degree are you projecting your attention outwards? I'll tell you what I mean by that. When you project your attention outwards, that means you're moving your attention from inside of your body to your inner state, or what we call presence, to something outside of your body. Now, if you're like 99% of people, that thing outside your body is your screen, your phone. And that phone is mirroring back to you experiences of other people, other emotional states, ads, temptations. It's mirroring all these things back to you that then get internalized as a part of you. And you give away your attention as a currency towards these things. Now, the same attention can be used for a skill called observation. And this is something this guy named Eugene Fersen talks about in his book that I'm obsessed about with, that I speak about on this channel all the time, because he wrote a book 100 years ago that broke this down into a damn science. How to actually understand it on a spiritually scientifical level. And the way he explained it is observation is one of your mental faculties. It's like a tool you have in your mental toolkit. And to the degree that you can actually observe your reality in seeing the deeper meaning behind things is the degree to which you'll be able to see insights coming from around you. Because here's the thing, right? We talked about at the start of the video, we thought consciousness is in here. But consciousness is actually all of this. Consciousness is everywhere. Everything is consciousness. And if everything is consciousness, what you actually are is a radio receiver for consciousness. So your inner state, the way you think, feel, and act on the inside actually attracts a specific frequency or a specific rate of vibration of specific insights. If you are the one who thinks, acts, and bees, that feels a certain way, that acts a certain way, you're going to attract specific insights. And you'll be able to see these insights with the power of observation when you look at the deeper meaning behind things. I'll tell you, every morning I go for a walk. I go for a walk every morning, and I use my observation to observe things most people walk by on these trails and completely overlook. I live in an incredibly beautiful area, and you most likely do too, but you don't see the beauty behind it because you're stuck in the everyday mundane. You're projecting your attention outwards, spending this limited currency on things that don't actually matter, on things that actually weaken these observational abilities. Now, next time you're on a walk, this is the exercise you're going to do. Instead of looking at what people are doing or staring at your phone or listening to music or listening to an audiobook, what you're actually going to do is you're going to observe your environment. How does the gravel feel under your feet? Hopefully you're not walking barefoot. But if you are, actually, that's even better. Walk barefoot if you think that's something like you do reasonably. But you're going to observe the things around you. The color of the leaves, the little veins that run through the leaves of a plant. And think about the life process, the energetic process that's creating those leaves that is giving that life. And you can even do this at home. If you're late at night, right before bed, with this other exercise I'm going to give you now, pick something like this pen, right? Pick this pen or any device and think about all the pieces that make up this pen. How many people had to work together to create something like this? What are the manufacturing steps that were taken to create something like this? And sort of marvel in something as so ordinary as a pen and see the magnificence of it, see the underlying meaning behind just this simple writing tool. You can do this with literally any object. And this is how you train this ability to observe things deeply. Because I guarantee you get insights, intuitive hits, you get all these things throughout the day that you overlook. But those are the things that are talking to you. Reality is talking to you, telling you, man, you wanted this. These are the things you must do. These are the things you must take action towards. Yes, I know this sounds weird, but you must do this, and this will get you there. And that's this observational ability. Now, the second part here, the second thing you can do is silence. How often do you sit in silence, in complete state of relaxed physical and mental silence? Most people don't. Because I'll tell you what, you have a mind that craves silence. We all do. We live in a day and age where we're not cavemen walking through the woods anymore. We're people sitting at home being bombarded by blue light, being bombarded by notifications on our phone, people needing things from us, wanting things from us, constant demands, people chattering on the radio. We live in a society that's more noisy than ever. And these people who wrote these books 100 years ago, hundreds of years ago, were complaining about the exact same thing. Like newspapers and radio being the chatter at that time that was keeping them away from their inner state. Now look how far we've actually come. We've 1,000x'd the amount of noise. So no wonder you're in a state of overthinking. No wonder you have this general anxiety all around you. You have literally 1 million thought loops that are open consistently that have never been closed. And so what you're going to do is late at night, right before bed, you're going to sit down somewhere quiet and you're going to tune your attention to your body. You're going to see where tension actually sits in your body. And when you see this tension sitting in your body for the one time in your day, for maybe one freaking time in your life, you're going to tune into that. You're going to just sit with it, feel the sensation, let it be there, and something will begin to happen. Over time, you do this night after night. These sensations will probably release emotions, memories, thoughts that come to the surface that have been held as a certain type of energy in your body. And when you do that, you let these things come up to the surface, you feel them, you think about them, you let them be there, that tension will release itself. At that point, you can even bring your attention to your mind. And when you bring your attention to your mind, you can even ask yourself, what's my next thought going to be? Because who is that voice in your head? And if there's a voice in your head, who's the one listening to it? Because at the end of the day, you're an observer. Your thoughts are not you, your ideas are not you, your feelings are not you, even your body parts are not you. At the center of this is just your being, is the thing you came here with on planet Earth, the thing that got to inhabit this body. And somebody like me, who's experienced a lot of life and death over an 8-year career as a paramedic, has got very familiar with life and life leaving the human body. Even while I have my hands on a human body, there's a spark. There's something there. There's something deeper below your physical existence. And these bodies, they rot, they make bad smells, and they go back into the ground. But something else lives on after that and it moves on. And that is what the yogis wanted us to connect with today, in this lifetime, is to make a connection with that thing that's inside of you. This is your spiritual self, the spiritual nature or spiritual aspect of yourself. And it's in this silence, when all the noise gets dealt with, when all the open thought loops are quietly and gently observed, like cars moving across a highway, instead of something you associate with as being you, they begin to resolve themselves. They begin to close those loops. And those loops close and you finally enter a state of silence. And it's so glorious. I could see why these people, these yogis, would say this is a state of ecstasy. Because compared to your noisy everyday life with the mental chatter, these 10 minutes, when you literally have nothing going on up there, you can finally hear nothingness. And in that nothingness, you connect with the center of your being, this little spark that's inside of you. And the spark has a voice. And the voice we call intuition. And in that intuition, you'll get those deeper insights. You get to understand parts of yourself that you never bothered to look at, because you never even knew that they were there. So that is the power of silence. The third one here is understanding your subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind is like a hall of records. Your subconscious mind is like a hall of records. Now, what do I mean by that? What I mean by that is it actually has a physical organ. Your subconscious mind has an organ called the solar plexus. And the solar plexus, science has now even shown, has a real physical counterpart. Memories are stored in the gut. The gut has its own sort of mind. It's able to have certain functions that it does on its own. It's called the gut brain. Your gut has an intelligence. This is why we call it a gut feeling. When you get that strong intuitive hit that you know you're supposed to do something, or information that resonates with you so deeply it hits you at your core, you more often than not feel it in your subconscious mind. Now, your subconscious mind is not some magical force. It is something that is a part of you. It's a part of your energetic anatomy. In medical school, I learned physical anatomy, but your physical anatomy has its energetic counterparts. And the subconscious mind is the most important one because it deals with your sense of self and your sense of power and how you move through the world. Now, the more you understand your subconscious mind and your control over it, the less that it can actually control you. Let me say that again. The more you understand your subconscious mind, the less that it can actually control you. Because most people put anything into the subconscious mind. It is receptive. If the last thing you watch is stupid TikToks and brain rot, then that anxiety and overwhelm, that sort of brain rot will manifest into your physical reality over time. You'll feel more confused, you'll have that fog when you wake up in the morning. And on the contrary, if you do the silence and relaxation exercise, you'll begin to see what's actually in here. But the subconscious mind is receptive, meaning you can actually suggest things to it. And before I go to bed, this is what I do. I think in every possible detail, the thing that I want, whether it's a goal, an outcome, whatever it may be, as you're drifting off to sleep, the door of your subconscious mind opens because you're in a brainwave state called theta state. And in theta state, that is the state your brain becomes a radio receiver with your subconscious mind, and actually things can be suggested to it. Now, as you're going off to bed, think about the thing that you desire the most in every single possible detail in your mind. Create a mental picture. And then instead of projecting it out into space, like many people tell you, project it out there like a visualization thing. Imagine this thought, this visual painting that you've made for yourself, traveling down into your solar plexus, traveling down into this part of your body and taking root. Because we talked about how reality is like a garden, and the things you see in the garden every day in your physical reality are just the plants that have come up to the surface after so many chemical processes and physical processes have happened under the surface. Well, your subconscious mind is the same way. It's the garden bed of your reality, and whatever is suggested in here takes root as little nudges towards certain decisions. You see, everybody talks about intuition as if it's like a good thing, and many times it is. But sometimes the intuition can be coming from a different place, especially if relatively negative things are being suggested to your subconscious mind, especially if you live in a space that is largely negative. You're going to be gravitated towards things that only reinforce what's down here. And the rational mind will just think everything you see and feel is just common sense. But really, it's not common sense because you create your own common sense. And that comes through realizing your subconscious mind is receptive to it. And so program it every night before you go to bed. Put those little guys in your subconscious mind to work. Let them show you the opportunities, the directions, the situations that you want it to show you. Remember, your subconscious mind can be something that you own, can be something that you control. It doesn't have to be something that controls you. Most people don't even realize this, right? And this is what the yogis were saying thousands of years ago. We're actually in a time where for the first time we can actually understand this, and everyday people like you and me can apply it to our own lives. Because for the longest time, this stuff was so out there, and the collective consciousness of people wasn't at a level that you could actually comprehend it, understand it, and better yet, even prove it with things like quantum physics. And this is where we're at now, my friends. And if you're receiving this video right now in August of 2026, you are ahead of the curve. Do these 3 things and watch where you are in 6 months. Watch where you are in a year. Come back and watch this video. And even better yet, I'm doing my Stay Lucid Challenge, which starts next week. I can't remember the exact dates. I think it's on Wednesday. But check the link down below, where we're going to be going through this exact series of exercises over 3 days. And for the first time, you're going to ship something that you've been putting off for a very long time. May it be a YouTube channel, may it be a business idea, may it be something that you've been putting off in your everyday life that you know you need to take action towards. We're going to find the subconscious blocks. We're going to go through a state of energetic reprogramming, and I'm going to get you to ship that thing. So look down in the link below for that. Until next time, stay lucid. Peace.